All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. This gentleman right here, Mr. Vice Rhino, is the first of the guests that I've had on the show to come back on the show, because I figured it might be about time that we have folks who wanted to add a little bit to their story to come back on and do just that. And we're also going to talk a little bit more about is it all right if I use your name?
Yeah, as long as you don't use my last name.
Oh, okay. So Justin and I met at the BajaCon recently, and he kind of snuck up on me, and it took me a second to realize who the hell he was. So I have only seen him a couple of times outside of the.
So my side of that interaction was I was driving up from like, that looks like it's probably Neil because of the hair.
Yeah.
Do I say something and risk it not? Yeah, fine, whatever. Neil, hey!
And of course I was like, oh, and then it took me a few minutes to realize who you were, because the last time you were here, you were still behind the logo, so to speak.
Yeah,
which I got a T-shirt of, and people are like, "What the hell does Vice Rhino mean?" Whenever I wear it, I'm like, well, you got to know the guy.
Nobody asks me shit when I wear merch with my own logo on it. I'm sorry.
Really?
I am allowed to swear here, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, I have a sweater that I wear semi-frequently, and I've never once had anyone stop me, and that includes my mother, who is a preacher and does not know what I do for a living to this day.
Oh, wow. Oh, and actually, one of the other people I was thinking about having to come back on the show just popped into the chat, Mr. Frustrated Atheist, who we will eventually get back on here for a round 2. But Justin, you're the first one of the batch to come back on and possibly share some stuff that you missed talking about before, and we'll talk a little bit about what we thought of the BajaCon, and I also want to talk about how things have been going for you since the momentous face reveal type thing.
Also, Alaman says thanks for supper. Did you buy him supper at BajaCon?
Oh, did I?
Maybe.
Yeah, you did.
I paid for dinner at a table. Yeah,
that was
there.
Ours,
You go.
I think.
And you were there, so yeah.
Indeed.
Well, not me, Ollie.
Okay. Yeah. Neil was. No, there was someone else there. I'm really bad with names, so I'm sorry. You two were what?
Ollie,
maybe.
I don't remember names, but they were delightful.
Okay.
Is it a guy?
No, Stacy and Stacy's mom.
Stacy and Dee.
Stacy and Denise.
Yeah,
and of course John and Caitlin were there too.
Yeah, but it was Stacy's mom, who I have to refer to as Stacy's mom because that's the podcast.
She knows. She knows. She's not offended.
She had to kind of go and undercut that by like sending me a bunch of money on PayPal afterwards, and be like, "Thanks for all you do." And I'm like, "Okay."
The reversal.
Now I feel like I have to do that.
No reverse. No, you don't. No.
Okay. Phew. Kind of broke these days. But anyway, welcome back to the show, man. It's good to see you. It's actually really cool. My first second, yes. That feels weird in a way, like just the way that's said. Like I don't even know where to go with that. Anyway,
the first second.
Yeah, is that what it is? I don't know. Second, first second. I don't know. But yeah, so we did. We were, graced by your presence the first time around, and you were able to tell us a lot about your deconversion and how things went, and sort of how things are going now. And you just mentioned before we went live that your mom still doesn't even know what you do.
Yes.
For doing all this. What's that like in sense of the relationship with your family nowadays? Does any of them, or do any of them, know that you do this?
Yeah, most of them do. I'm not sure how much my sister knows. My brother knows that my channel exists. My dad knows, and he follows me on Twitter, but he doesn't interact with me on Twitter. So sometimes it's weird where I'll post something like inappropriate, and then he'll comment on it at our next like family gathering or whatever. And I'm just like, right, you follow me there. Why do you do that?
Parents, it's your own damn fault. Stop following your children. You don't want to know what I have to say. You don't want to know. So just don't look. Look away. Block me. Block your kids if you love them.
Hashtag block your kids.
Hashtag block your kids.
Yeah, my mom couldn't figure out how to do this if she wanted to. So
same.
She's
I'm safe.
the generation before the tech started. So
I just helped the little old lady neighbor across the street figure out how to turn the volume back on her phone. That she just got her first cell phone a couple months ago.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You're like the neighborhood hero now. That's going to tell all the old people that you're the guy to go
Yeah,
to.
they're going to be ringing your doorbell nonstop now. 7 a.m.
She is sweet, so I'll take it.
I have some raisin muffins, but can you tell me about Gmail?
You know, the funny thing is after BajaCon, when myself and Kilted Atheist and his wife were heading back to the main city, like in Toronto area or whatever, or no, I think it was London. Sorry, London, Ontario. For the first time in my life, I saw a cicada. I had no idea that you guys had cicadas over there.
Yeah, we do. Actually,
I felt like I was in a Japanese anime.
Here's the thing. I've never seen a cicada. We have cicadas here. I've looked for cicadas when I hear the noise, but I've never actually pinned one down and actually found. Now, I have seen cicada grubs. I know they're in the trees, but like I've seen cicada grubs. We when we put a bunch of gardens up years and years and years ago, we got this big old pile of dirt from just some landscaping company. Just got a bunch of dirt, and as I was shoveling it into the driveway, there's this massive grub like this big, just white and slimy and gooey and moving in just the creepiest way. I'm just like, what is this nightmare fuel? Like, oh, that's a baby cicada.
Hey,
how delightful.
D, no excuses. I'm so sorry, Vice Rhino. D is late, and now we have to slow the whole show down because D is tardy today.
I mean,
D, we love you.
We've started 2 minutes late, so
yeah, we were late too, so we can't really give her shit for that now, can we?
She loves it.
So Justin, I've decided that you and I will most likely end up at a convention together at some point in the next little while. So I promise you, like Josh got at the convention, I promise you that I will build you a Lego bow tie.
Oh, yes. I remember the Lego bow tie. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Oh, look at that picture. We were supposed to get a picture with Josh and I both wearing crazy bow ties. Oh, damn.
Well, if you're going next year, I'll see you there because I'm going to go too.
I will probably be going next year. Yeah,
it's so much fun. That was like I've been to quite a few of them now, and the Faithless Forum was a lot of fun, but this one was really like I don't know. Maybe it's because we were mostly Canadians there. I don't know, but it was a hell of a lot of fun there. We're all polite and and stuff like that, sort of. But yeah, no, I think no. I have a couple of questions for you before I decide to put this enterprise into action. Do you like polka dots, or would you like some other sort of strange design on there?
Like for the Lego tie?
Yeah,
rhino skin.
I don't. little rhinos. I don't know. I have a few bow ties. Like there's a red floral pattern that I wear semi regularly. There's just a plain red one. I have a plain green one that looks black on camera for some reason.
Green screen.
I have one with. It's a good idea. Green screen something interesting.
That's why it's black. Yeah. You can have it move. It can be a video.
There we go. I have
make him a video Lego tie.
So now most of my bow ties I tie myself, but I do have a couple pre-tied ones. One is a TIE fighter. So it's got
awesome.
You can tie that one yourself, but I'm like that seems like it's going to take a lot of adjusting and fiddling with to get it right. So like no, I'm just going to buy the pre-tied one, and I have one with some dinosaurs on it. No, that one I tie myself. The green one's a pre-tied one for some reason. I don't know why.
Canadian flag.
That's an idea. Could make a Canadian flag one.
I could probably find that on Etsy pretty easily.
Not made out of Lego.
Well, not made out of Lego, but the TIE fighter bow tie is one that I wear when I feel like I'm not doing as well on YouTube's algorithm as I should be, because that one always generates comments. It's like it's engagement bait. If I'm wearing the TIE fighter bow tie, my channel's not doing as well as I want, so I want you to comment.
And then just tell them, hey guys, don't you love my Star Trek bow tie? So
Yes.
about Christians. And then they will just erupt in the comments.
Yes, absolutely.
Star Trek.
This is my Geordie LaForge tie. And they will just eat each other in there.
Gandalf would be very upset about that. Okay, so is this true?
If Rhino has to do a bio break while streaming live, he likes it narrated. No, so my partner on my live streams, my second channel is The Watering Hole, where I do live streams where we cover some like political news items, and then we make fun of some idiots on that tweet. The show is called Twit Tweets, so that it originated with me just making fun of people making tweets, and then it was like, you know what, I like to talk about current events, so like we'll do some news as well. And when I stream, I drink while I stream.
As you do.
As you do. And
is that Cirrus?
The stream, yeah, Cirrus the Skeptic is Cirrus, depending on where you know him from.
I know Chris.
I subbed.
Yeah, when I have to go to the washroom, Cirrus will often do detailed narration about what he suspects I am doing at the moment. To the point where I actually I headed it off at the pass by rewriting the Christian worship song Heart of Worship to be bathroom related.
Oh geez.
And our stream lost half its revenue to copyright, but it was worth it.
Sometimes you got to take the hit.
Yeah.
Sometimes the joke is worth it, y'all.
It was the heart of two.
How come I'd never heard of the second channel until this now?
Because I'm bad at self-promotion. So the only time I mention it is at the very end of the video where most people have already turned off.
Not for you. Okay. Not for you, Russ. Not for you.
You'll have to wait till we get you back on here, Russ.
No, he wants to know if there's going to be an after show, and there will be, but just not for Russ. And don't actually Russ, don't watch it either.
Thank you, D. D and I were watching the Skeptic Haven channel earlier, and somebody said smoosh the like button. So I said, okay, like button smooshed, and D said I gave it a hug. And I went, oh, I lovingly smooshed it, you know, that kind of thing. So now it's
full body embrace.
Appreciate that.
I smacked the like button's ass.
Yeah, there you go.
I detonate all like buttons on site.
Oh yeah, and Regios is saying I also stream to Twitch while I do that. I always forget that I have a Twitch.
I know.
I've only just started to remember to raid other channels on Twitch when I'm done streaming. So like the last couple streams I remembered to do that, but before that, nope.
Yeah, recently we got raided by a bunch of fucking morons.
Oh man, yeah.
On the in one of the after party. And here's the funny thing: they were leaving super chats, like all of them, saying stupid racist shit and stuff like that. I'm like, fuck off.
Thanks for giving me your money. I will donate it to like, I don't know, something like
something they wouldn't like.
I'll donate it to Antifa.
Yeah, there you go.
The Antifa Patreon.
Find Antifa HQ.
All right. So, is there anything that you maybe wanted to add to that deconversion story?
Well, I mean, it's been years, so maybe I should. I can give a quick recap for people that don't remember. Or
I thought up some questions too for returning guests, which are a little bit different than our normal ones. But you can do the recap thing, and then I'll ask after.
Okay. So first, Jesus Tales says Antifa is not an org. That's the joke.
We know. That's why it was funny. Until we explained it.
Because I'm a funny guy. Very funny. Yeah. Okay. So quick recap.
What were you?
I was a Christian. I was kind of a weird breed of Christian where like the church I grew up in was fairly liberal, and like it's the United Church of Canada. They were the first church in Canada to officiate gay weddings.
Oh, okay.
So they were fairly liberal as far as churches go.
Aggressive for sure.
But I kind of self-radicalized because I had figured that, like, you know, if God exists and he has an important message for us, he is going to make sure that the message says what he wants it to say. And I've seen the verses in the Bible that say you execute gay people because being gay is an abomination. So clearly that is that can't be right.
Right.
And so like I was actually at the annual general meeting for the denomination where they decided they were going to start performing gay weddings. And I remember asking someone at my table, and we were like, hey, but Leviticus 18:22 says not to lie with a man as you would lie with a woman. And he replied to me with like, yeah, but that was just Moses's interpretation of what God had told him, and like he didn't write it 100% correctly. And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, God is all powerful. How could he let his message be misinterpreted by just some guy? And looking back on it, they put on what I now see was like a really good play. And actually, I don't know how much we'll get into this later, but I've made some self-discoveries about myself in the last little while that are kind of relevant to this. But like the play was like he took some guy that was like super duper homophobic and against gay people, and they kind of did like a what's that Christmas movie?
A Christmas
It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life, but like instead of seeing what the world would be like if you never existed, it's seeing what the world would be like if you could see how gay everybody is. And so the way that would play out is that like their skin would be blue, and so he saw that.
What?
And yeah, no, so he saw
damn
like,
Smurfs. I knew it.
Like the bluer you are, the gayer you are, and the less blue you
Avatar.
are, the less gay you are. Yeah, Avatar.
Boy.
They're all gay, but the end result of that was like, yeah, people are different shades of blue, but everybody's a little bit blue.
Right.
And
right.
yeah, okay. I can now relate to that a lot better than I could back then. I showed you the hat earlier, but my world's okayest bisexual.
Yeah.
Okay.
The label doesn't quite fit me as technical stuff, whatever. But yeah, I'm less straight than I thought at the time.
Leaning towards the pan, maybe.
Yeah, well, straight leaning pansexual. But basically, I'm attracted to a stereotypical feminine presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I don't care who's playing with my dick. I like my dick to be played with.
That sounds like y'all's job. Just
somebody showed him some attention.
Why should I bother?
Days.
Yeah.
Nobody's paid any attention to mine for a long fucking time now, so it doesn't matter to me anymore.
Here we are.
I mean, other than me,
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat's like, too much information.
Everyone's sending Neil links.
I try to keep it as like not detailed as possible when I talk about it, because I know it's too much information. Y'all don't need to hear that, but at the same time, it's a way of explaining a specific label, which yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's the denomination I was in, but because I had this simplistic view of how an all-powerful God would work, that I actually still think kind of holds true. It just kind of pushed me into the more literalistic direction. So I ended up, I never quite became a young Earth creationist. I was definitely a creationist.
Probably
Evolution didn't happen. God created us to the way we are 6,000 years ago or whatever. But I also like astronomy. So I understood that when I look at a star that's, 5 billion light years away, that means that light has been traveling for 5 billion years to get to us, actually longer than that because of the expansion of space-time.
Right.
And warping.
Yeah. So I understood that like the universe has to have been around long enough for us to receive that light. And like, yeah, God could have made the light already in transit, but then he did weird stuff like make light for a star that never existed appear to be just a normal star and then one day go nova, but the star never existed. It's always been post nova, because
what would be the point of that anyways?
It just doesn't
to confuse us.
Yeah, that didn't
Wouldn't
make
it
any
just
sense.
be easier to leave the star there?
Yeah, just let it happen.
Yeah.
So like that never made sense to me. So I never quite came to grips with the label of young Earth creationist, but I also never was like, oh, but the old Earth thing, because I still had that everything has to be literal thing. I just kind of put it aside and didn't really think about it much.
Right.
And then I remember it was actually Phil Plait is the person I credit with my coming out of religion.
The astronomer?
Yeah, bad astronomer.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah. He had a blog that I love to read because it was astronomy, but every now and then he'd write something about religion, and usually I'd just be like, ugh, I hate it when he gets anti-religious, so I just scroll past it. But then I read one about the Christmas verse. He pointed out that the wise men who the Bible said are in the east saw a star that was in the east, and somehow by following the star that they saw in the east while they were in the east, it led them west.
Yes.
So it's like, that doesn't seem right. And I'm like, the Bible's inerrant. But then I see this. So like, it's just a little tiny error. It doesn't fucking matter at all. It's just this tiny little thing. Who cares? But I noticed it, and that is a problem. So I'm like trying to figure out, how does this work? Well, okay, maybe when it says the wise men saw a star in the east, it doesn't mean they saw it in the eastern portion of the sky. It means, well, they were in the east, they saw the star. Like, if God miracled a star rising in the west instead of the east, that would have been something that caught their attention. They noticed that and follow that. Okay, that kind of makes sense, but it's a stretch. And then I saw in the footnotes of my Bible, it was like, I saw the star, or they saw the star as it rose. Okay, if it rose in the west because God was miracling it to the west instead of the east, that still makes it make sense. Okay, but then why is that the footnote and not the main translation? Because God is all powerful. He could make the correct translation be the main one instead of the footnote.
Maybe he spun the earth the other way for that night.
I was going to say, wait a minute. Everything in the sky rises in the east, not the west.
Yeah, but that's why it would be a miracle.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry.
Or the earth just
went the other way sometimes
for a night.
Yeah, so ultimately, as far as contradictions go, this is a nothing. Like the harmonizations for this are almost actually like believable. Cromulent. Let's say cromulent. But the fact that it needed to be harmonized instead of just reading correctly, just for me, that like it stuck the pebble in the shoe, where now like, and because this is a verse that is read at church services every Christmas I have the pastors up there reminding me of the pebble in my shoe. And eventually I was just like, you know what, this is ridiculous. I need to fix my relationship with God. I need to make everything work.
Wear flip-flops.
Pastor, wear flip, sure.
Crocs.
That's what happens when you turn to apologetics.
Yeah.
Apologetics are the Crocs of religion. There we go.
No.
But yeah, so I eventually was like, okay, well, the preachers are always saying like, oh, if you want to be a good, strong Christian, you need to spend lots of time in your Bible. Now, I take things very literally, so I didn't really understand that when they said that, they meant like read the daily devotionals that are curated for lay people. So I was like, okay, I'm going
cherry
to
pick bullshit.
Read the Bible,
quote unquote.
Yeah, so I sat down with the objective of reading it from cover to cover, and I was an atheist by the book of Joshua. The God that I believed in was a benevolent God, and the God in the Bible was not.
The opposite, literally.
And honestly, like apologists will often say that like when atheists do that, when they sit down and read the Bible cover to cover, they were like looking for things to be wrong. They were looking for problems that they could point out, and so their heart's not the right place.
But not when you start as a Christian.
Yeah, okay. Even putting that aside, let's pretend that my doubts got to the point where now I'm reading it to find out what's wrong with it, so I have an excuse to leave Christianity and do all the sin that they think that I want to do. Let's say that happened. How did I make it to the book of fucking Joshua before I became an atheist? Have you read Numbers? Have you read the rape laws in Deuteronomy? Have you read the slave laws in Leviticus? Those all come before Joshua, man. The fact that I made it that far is a testament to cognitive dissonance and how strong it can be.
I'll take my hat off to anyone who can get past the begats.
I did skip the begats.
Okay. Dude, no one cares about the begats. We should have edited that out.
And be like, okay, we're done with begats now. I don't need to know. Although You know that list of prophecies, the 300 prophecies of the Old Testament that point to Jesus.
Yeah.
One of the prophecies is one of the begats in Genesis 4, where it's like Enoch lived so many years, and then he walked with God, for God took him, or something like that. And that's all it is. And it's like, how is this a prophecy for Jesus? Oh, it's prophesying about his ascension into heaven because Enoch ascended into heaven. It's like, no, it just says God took him and he was no more. Like, that doesn't.
And then he lifted up on a moonbeam.
Even if we say that Enoch ascended into heaven, because that's actually a reference to the book of Enoch, that's still not saying he ascended into heaven just like this guy in the future is going to do.
Like
He
magic.
ascended into heaven.
They make the connection intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they try
It's
to
right
do,
there. How can you guys not see it?
But Enoch's a fun one, though, because that's one that most Christians, unless they are one of two denominations two versions of Orthodox denominations, the Tawahedo denominations, all Christians except for them do not consider the Book of Enoch to be scripture. But Jesus explicitly refers to the Book of Enoch as scripture. In Matthew, I think it's in Matthew 27. No, Matthew 27 is.
I'm not overly familiar with. I have read the New Testament, but not
it's in Matthew somewhere
with interest. But I'm very familiar with the Old Testament because that's what I grew up with, right, as an ex-Jew. So.
Well, that's because it came out when you were in like high school, right, Neil?
I think it's the other part that refers to Enoch as scripture is I want to say it's Jude or Jeremiah refer to it it explicitly quotes a prophecy from Enoch and uses that as like, and this is it coming true or whatever. Is like, so it's clearly treating Enoch as scripture. But then Christians will read the verses that say all scripture is God breathed. Okay, but what about the book of Enoch that Jesus said was scripture? Do you disagree with Jesus about Enoch being scripture?
It's funny you say that because like when the NIV came out, there was hullabaloo at my church because they're like, we are not using that shit. It says not a jot or a tittle. We are staying King James the whole time. And then eventually they did. But
which version of the NIV are you referring to? Because there are a couple versions.
When the NIV, like when it came out. So this was like 98 or something.
Okay.
And like everyone in church was like,
just have to have one handy.
I do. Yeah. This is my confirmation Bible. This is 1973. Was the first one.
Oh, wow.
This is the 1984 version. And in this one, there is a verse in Matthew. Again, it's always Matthew.
Always Matthew.
I don't remember exactly where it is, but the mustard seed verse where Jesus says,
faith of mustard seeds.
So my 1984 NIV says that the mustard seed is the smallest of all your seeds. The 2011 NIV says the mustard seed is the smallest of all seeds. Because the 1984 guys were engaged in some apologetics when they translated. There is nothing in the original languages or the original manuscripts anywhere to suggest that the word "your" should be there. So they put that in there to make it sound like he was talking about a specific set of seeds, like all the seeds that you have there, of those ones the mustard is the smallest, when in reality he said of all seeds. So they tried to fix an error in the Bible by inserting the word "your," and then in 2011 they took it out. But there was a big stink with the 2011 version, not because they took out the word "your" and thus made Jesus say a wrong thing. The problem with the 2011 version was it became gender inclusive. So like,
oh hell no!
All of the like Old Testament laws that talk about a man should do this and a man should do that or whatever, it changed to like a person. And there were a lot of like generic he's that were clearly supposed to refer to everyone that they changed to they's. And yeah, they freaked us. Yep, it was the 2011 NIV is the woke version.
The woke version of it.
Yeah,
commie liberals.
So yeah, the version of myself who would have read this, and actually it was this one that I was reading when I got to the book of Joshua. If I had realized what they did with Jesus and the mustard seed, that would have like just killed me right there.
That would have been a wrap.
Yeah.
You know, funny enough, and I'm pretty sure I talked about this when I first had you on, as how I stumbled across your channel back in the day. And honestly, I thought was kind of the strangest thing ever, being told about this stuff by a talking rhino. So. But I would just let it roll in the background when I was at work. I'm going back to like 2014, 2015 stuff, pretty much just when you kind of started getting shit rolling.
You got your timeline wrong, man. I didn't start my channel until 2016.
Until 2016? Okay, maybe it was then. So I don't know. At my age, it's I'm lucky if I can remember yesterday. So yeah, maybe it was about then. Sure. And I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I kind of stumbled upon you, and I think a couple others like Surus and a few others around the same time. All of a sudden, everyone started popping up in my algorithms. Godless Engineer was another one. So just having all these people that I started watching now, just because these guys are talking about shit that I've been thinking for years now, and they're making so much more sense than it does inside my head. So. Growing up in the Jewish faith, I knew a little bit about Christianity because I had a friend down the street who was a Christian, and I got to go over there and spend Christmas. And funny enough, every year there was a present for me under the tree from Santa, right?
All right, Santa. Good shit.
I think my favorite one that I ever got was the zipper tie. Do you remember when they had zipper ties, leather zipper ties you used to be able to put over your head and you could zip it and it would make it.
Yeah.
Have to actually tie them. I got one of those
for a while. Yeah.
Those things were the best. Anyway, so yeah. And so just finding channels like that, of course, ultimately inspired me to start doing something like I do now. Right. So I always like to, every time I have people on that inspired me, I always like to say thanks for your inspiration and stuff and getting me involved in doing this sort of thing. And then ultimately getting to meet all the folks that inspired me and become friends with them, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
all right,
I'm ready to start asking you questions.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Question number 1. Do you have any regrets about your deconversion?
No. I mean,
that's the show. Thank you, guys. Make sure you head over to Patreon.
Like, if I had to pick something, I am a rather secluded guy. I sit in my office all day, every day, and my partner has to drag me kicking and screaming to go outside and get some sunlight.
No.
So, like, having somewhere that I felt obligated to be at least once a week where there are other people that I have to be nice to, it was probably good for me to get out and actually talk to people and socialize and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, now that this is my job and I don't have like work friends that I like am just chatting with on the downtime at work. Yeah, so like I do miss some of the social aspect, but again, like as I just pointed out, you can get that from having a job. So like it's not like that's exclusive to religion. Religion just makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and there's that community right through.
And it's not that I regret that, it's just that it's easier with the church.
And that's their wedge, right? Like if you leave the church, you're gonna miss out on all the parties we were about to have. Oh man, we're about to have so much fun, but you don't want to
parties outside of church.
No, y'all didn't have like cookout. Well, my church is different. Like it was like a freaking party over there every weekend.
Yeah, no.
You would want to go to church because that's where all like the barbecue and they had the good basketball hoop, and I always want to go over there.
No, we had the church I was probably at for the longest. That wasn't the one I grew up in. Like that I actually chose as an adult was like there was only like 20 people in the congregation.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that made me leave that church was eventually the preacher went on, I think it was week 7 that I decided to leave, but he went on a series where he was, he insisted that like, I'm not going to stop preaching about how important it is to tithe until every member of this congregation is tithing.
Wow.
Oh no.
And since there's only like 20 people in that congregation, he knows who's tithing. He can keep track of that. That's not hard. And eventually I got tired of being told I wasn't giving him enough money. And like, I was fully believing Christian. I believe that if you give money to the church, you will be blessed. So I was giving money to the church. It wasn't fully 10% because I was dirt ass poor at the time.
But don't you want the riches in heaven?
Yeah, no, but
give me your earthly cash, damn it.
Yeah, I got tired of that. And I remember the church had actually, like, they did some international thing where they're like, oh, we want to have like flags from a bunch of different countries hanging up around the thing. And we're like, oh yeah, you can. I happen to have a Scottish flag that I got while I was in Scotland with my dad, so I will let you borrow that to hang it up, because it's just kind of folded up and in my basement at the moment. And that was the most uncomfortable church switch I ever did, because I had to ask him for the flag back.
Oh,
This is actually an important thing to me. Like, I don't get sentimental attachment to things very much, but like, that is a thing that I do have an attachment to. So please return it.
I need it.
He was not happy about that. I did get it back, but he was not happy about it.
Oh well, you can find another one somewhere else. It's not like they don't sell flags.
Well, he didn't have any money for flags, Neil. That's the problem.
Yeah, because the church wasn't tithing.
That's half the issue. Can't afford flags.
Well, maybe he could start a second tithing thing for flags.
It was rather cathartic to me to find out that the church that I was at the time, it has now been demolished and turned into a the area that the
Please
church
say strip club. Oh
no, it's like a little pond with a park around it for the suburb that like got built up around it.
Nice.
So yeah, it was cathartic to see that his preaching about giving him more money didn't seem to have worked.
So here's a piggyback question off of kind of like the point you were nearby. What have you learned new about your old faith? So like you kind of touched on it earlier, but is there anything about like your denomination specifically, or something that you didn't realize once you were in, but then once you left, you're like, oh, we do this thing. And I never realized that we were the this thing people.
I think communion is a big thing about that. Okay. Like looking at and I know that's not specific to denomination. There's every Christian denomination does communion in one way or another. The Catholics are really weird about it by insisting that it actually becomes the flesh and blood of Jesus.
The Eucharist.
But like taking a step back and looking at communion from like an outsider's perspective, it's like,
yeah,
you guys are ritualistically cannibalizing your God.
What's the problem?
That is weird. That is fucking weird.
This is the blood in the body.
The Catholics think the Catholics think they're not just ritualistically doing it; they think they're actually cannibalizing their God.
It's physically, magically turning into zombie flesh.
Like what? That is
how
magic.
That's crazy to me.
They're eating his meat and drinking his blood.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Like,
why do you have that?
Is that your dinner tag
from Baja Con? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I use that as a prop now. I have a beef. So it's like...
That's good to have.
I also have the red flag too, just in case.
I like the red flag.
Did they give us red flags? I don't remember that one.
No, that I bought a whole thing full of these things.
Okay.
So when that one's broken, I've got like 9 backups.
I'm just like, I thought I made it to every talk. Did I miss that with the one where they handed out the red flag?
Yeah, what the hell?
I will bring one for you to the next Baja Con.
Is that going to be our con thing, Neil? Is we're just going to have a thing?
Yeah, we'll just
handing out red flags to people so they can wave them around when things alert them.
Yeah, just you know, like you used to put on your bicycle, you'd have a big ass flag. You could just put one of these on the back there. How is that staying? I don't even know how that's staying.
I put a bicycle. Damn it! I ruined my joke. I put a baseball card in Neil's shoe so he clicks when he walks.
That's how you know I'm coming.
You know how you know
Wayne Gretzky rookie.
Wayne Gretzky, you would have hockey cards. Question number.
I have a story about Wayne Gretzky.
Do you?
Wayne Gretzky story, then number C.
I met Wayne Gretzky when I was working as a doorman at the Hilton Hotel. Now, the doorman wasn't the guy who held the door for you. He was the guy that wrote the valet tag for your car, so he got your information and everything. And Wayne Gretzky arrived when it was really fucking busy, and he was in a beater car. Like, it was not a nice car. So, like, rental. I just walk up to him, like, what's your last name? He says Gretzky. I say, you spell it the same as Wayne? He says yes. I write Gretzky, slap it on his car, move on to the next one. Like half an hour later, when things had calmed down a little bit, our manager gathers us around and is like, guys, you got to keep your eyes out. I just heard that Wayne Gretzky is going to be checking in today. Oh,
He might be
he
here.
already did.
You didn't even know it was
Spells his
him.
name the way that he spells his name.
No wonder he said yes.
Yeah,
He's like, yes. How did? Okay.
he got
Good
a
one.
kick out of the fact that I knew who he was but didn't recognize him.
I would say so. And from what I'm to understand, my dad was big into hockey, and we used to go to we had a team here in New Westminster called the New Westminster Bruins back in the day in the 70s and early 80s, and we used to go watch it all the time. And he had a friend named Laurie who lives in Edmonton, and he has a pub that was very near where the Oilers played. And he says that 5 or 6 of the team members would come in there every night and play poker at one of the tables. They'd have a few drinks and play poker.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that Wayne, while he was fairly young on the team, like I think it was his first or second year there as a NHL team, he said Wayne would come in there and he didn't even know how to play, and he acted very like quiet and stuff
Reserved.
like that. He says and all the time that he knew him, he said Wayne was always really kind of reserved and low key and really polite and a nice guy, right? So I don't know what happened later on in years, but he said, Wayne was always a really super nice guy and very humble. So maybe that's why
Canadian?
he didn't say,
Yeah.
of course he's Canadian.
Oh, well, that would explain the like humble, nice shit. Like, why are we shocked? Of course,
And
he's
great at
fucking
hockey.
He's the greatest Canadian hockey player.
Okay.
Of course, he's polite.
Wayne Gretzky, the winery, though, it's kind of shit.
Oh,
Is
well,
it?
you can't be great at everything.
Yeah.
You got to have some flaws. Question number C, have you been tempted to try any new faiths?
No,
Okay.
Why? Faith is useless.
I'm just
Some people go wooey after they leave their religion.
So I am currently dating someone who is sitting right beside me, who she will happily tell you that she is a little on the wooey side.
Hi.
Hey, woo.
Yeah, they say hey woo.
Hey, woo woo.
Yeah,
I used to be wooey, so I get it.
Yeah, so like I have, like I don't see the appeal. Like I don't believe it to be true, so I don't see how I could make myself believe it to be true. But at the same time, like I'm not a judgmental person. Like the conversation we had before our relationship got serious was like, okay, I can accept the fact that you believe things that I don't believe. I'm fine with that. That's fine.
I think we could all.
But like,
say that.
if the kids are sick, are you going to the doctor or the crystal shop? And she said the doctor.
Shop.
She said the doctor.
Oh.
I'm like, okay. Then
That's all I needed to know.
as long as it's not endangering people, as long as we're not doing crystal stuff or whatever instead of actual medicine, that's fine. And now she makes fun of me when because I'm the science guy. One of the things I've done with the kids is we made bismuth crystals.
Yeah, those are cool though.
And it melts at a low enough temperature. You can just melt it on the stove, and you make crystals, and they're like this really funky shape, and it's
color.
Fucking amazing. Yeah, the colors are amazing with us. It's like we have fun with that. And then when we went flying on vacation a couple months ago, we gave the kids some Pepto-Bismol to keep things settled or whatever. And it was like, hey, you remember those crystals we made? Bismuth is the active ingredient in Pepto-Bismol.
Pepto-Bismol, that's right.
And so then she jumps on and is like, they're healing crystals.
Damn it.
So it's like, I can't argue
in
with
a sense, it is correct in a sense.
It's like,
curse you and your alchemy, woman.
Okay, here's the thing about crystals. Crystals do have uses.
Shout out to Crystal in chat. Pragmatic Crystal. Hey, girl.
Hey, Crystal. Yeah. So you can get some use out of crystals that are other than them just looking pretty. I mean, we know that crystals are used for all kinds of things.
Controlling the weather.
So, like you've probably got some in your fucking cell phone. Like controlling the weather. Yeah, there you go.
I thought all Democrats knew how to control the weather. That's what I've been told recently. So
we're Canadian. We're either liberals or NDP.
That's right. That's right.
That's what we do.
I'm just finishing the last few pieces of Lego for my giant hurricane machine that I'm making.
Yes. Canada probably behind most of these hurricanes. They've been awfully quiet, and the hurricanes never hit them.
There's a reason we're polite.
Because you're hurricane senders.
Yes, we're hiding things.
You never suspect the quiet, polite guy.
That's right. That harp or whatever is up there by you guys. So I mean, it does do cool
We also have the
things,
giant
like-
faucet. Don't forget that.
Yes, that one's in BC. That's in your neck of the woods.
That's right. It goes into the Pacific Ocean.
When
It's my turn next week to turn it on for a day.
When I heard him say that, I was like, is he like misconstruing something about Niagara Falls or something? Because like there's a lot of power that's generated by Niagara Falls, like and we do send a lot of it to the States. So like maybe there's some, like maybe he thought something, but then he talked about like how it's coming from British Columbia down to California, forgetting that Washington and Oregon are a thing. But like
they're not contiguous.
It's not Niagara Falls. He's just off the rails. Okay, sure.
California goes from the southern border of Mexico all the way up to BC, apparently.
The entire West Coast.
The whole West Coast is California. And we just go out 50 miles
what's funny?
from the coast.
I can't remember what show it was, but there was a prank that they did where they moved the Canadian border down to Northern California. And people were driving up to this border and they're like, what's this? Well, welcome to Canada. This is Canadian border.
Northwest are honorary Canadians anyway, so
yeah. Our Oregon and Washington friends. I remember my dad years ago talking about how I think it was California, Oregon, Washington, and I think Montana and BC, and I think Alberta were involved. They wanted to make their own country called Cascadia. This is we're going back to the 80s, the last time I heard about this. And I thought, yeah, it sounds great, but that'll never happen.
The North American rainforest.
Oh, there was a legitimate Canadian political party that actually did get, I think they managed to get a seat in Parliament, called the Rhinoceros Party. So
yes. I voted for them my first time around.
There you go. One of their platform positions was the drive across Saskatchewan is too boring. So we're going to narrow the borders at the south to make that, and then build a bridge across it, so you can skip Saskatchewan entirely.
See, guys, see what he just did there. Was he just revealed that Canadians do control the earth? They've been folding space for years, and he just
cut that part out of the interview. We got a 1 minute delay, right? Could just cut it.
Commercial.
Yeah.
Thanks, Regios. Thanks, Regios.
Hi, Regios. They're regular on my side too.
Regios, people. It's not the first time Regios has done that either. So
thank you so
much. Kudos to Regios for helping out some of the peeps in the chat. That's awesome, man. All right. I kind of want to know. I don't really remember hearing much about it, but I kind of want to know from you how everything kind of went after the big reveal, like the big face reveal type thing. Like, how did things start? Did anything change? Like, did you lose subscribers, gain subscribers, like that kind of thing?
No, not really. There wasn't a huge change in my analytics. So I don't know, like my hope was that now okay, so it kind of happened in stages. There was the face reveal that I think that happened as part of a fundraiser when we raised enough money for Project Share, which is a food bank in my area. Which I need to start setting that up because that's happening in a couple weeks. Oops. Yeah. But when I raised, if I hit my goal for that, I would do a face reveal, and so that was my reveal. And then from then on, when I was streaming, I would be on camera, but my videos were still the Rhino avatar. And that's mostly a laziness thing because it's way easier to talk into a microphone and then just put the audio underneath a static image of a rhino than to actually like make sure that all of my takes are good. And then like, if I have to cut something, you have to hide the cut somehow, or like you have to get a long enough take, or like whatever. It's a whole other hassle. And like, there's the setting up of the camera and the teleprompter, because I can't remember lines for shit. So I need the teleprompter. And so it's a whole thing. So for a while I was like, my regular videos still had the Rhino, and every now and then now, like if something happens and like I'm behind and I just really need to get a video done, I will go back to just the Rhino thing. And I do get viewers who are like, oh yeah, I miss this style of video. So yeah,
it's a nostalgia thing, I guess.
I don't think it's even nostalgia. I think it's personal preference. Because like when I talk, when I'm talking to the camera, that's not me, but I'm also not acting. It's just like
You're
it's
presenting.
weird. Like it's I have like it's a presentation persona sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and apparently my partner will say this is because I'm autistic. I'm not officially diagnosed as autistic, but she's basically a psychotherapist at this point, and like I say
Are there
that
crystals
because,
for that?
no. So I say she's basically a psychotherapist, not in the sense that she's like watched enough TikToks to know how to diagnose.
Right.
I
As in,
follow
she's
3
gone to
channels.
school for it, and she's in the last stages of becoming an actual psychotherapist.
Right.
So we're like the same because I
So,
saw
like,
those TikToks
it's not
too.
her job to diagnose people, but it is her job to know when to refer to someone who can diagnose.
Okay.
So she says that I'm autistic. I trust her instincts there, and I also have 2 kids that have been diagnosed. Well, no, one kid that has been diagnosed autistic, and the other one who's going through the process, whose psychiatrist is convinced that yes, he is autistic, but we still need to do the process. But and part of that is when I'm doing the presentation, that's part of masking, where like this isn't me.
Yeah.
This is me doing what I think is the socially acceptable thing to do.
Mhm.
And a lot of people say I bob my head too much and I move my arms too much, because like my default reaction when I'm talking is to just like kind of be still and monotone or whatever. So I'm like, okay, that's not the right thing. So I move my arms and I bob my head around because I'm presenting. I'm trying to be interesting.
Yes, it's
But
engaging too.
I overcorrect, and some people don't like that, and I don't care.
They can close their eyes for those parts.
They can, but so that's
They can
the
still
thing.
hear you too.
Because for years I was doing it with just like the normal, like just a static Rhino. I have always kind of been cognizant of people who like they'll listen to the videos without watching.
Right.
Like any graphics that I put up,
That's
for
what I
the
did.
most part, it's just extra flavor. It's not necessary to understand what I'm saying. So, and I still do my videos with that in mind, and I release them as podcasts on Spreaker. So
here's the compromise. Just take take 3 pictures of yourself in the Vice Rhino poses and just put up the static photo of yourself versus the static Vice Rhino logo, and then they can complain about that. It's like, this is what you want. Okay, so here.
I just hired an editor. I feel like that would be throwing them a massive wrench into the thing.
Oh, they wouldn't mind at all. That would be so much easier.
Oh, I don't know. Depends, because I thought about doing stuff like that with my avatar, like get it in 3 different poses, but I'm like, no, just one pose and I'm done. I see what Sir Sick does. That looks like it's more work than what I do. So
I don't know how Sirs has time for any of that. Like every time I look at
didn't say
Sirs'
Sirs.
stream.
Okay.
Oh,
the VTuber thing, I could do that. Someone actually made a VTuber model of
the Rhino?
Not the Rhino, of sexy female human Rhino thing.
Okay.
And it actually is like, if I actually remembered how to set it up, it is fairly easy to do.
Okay.
And then it just tracks you on the webcam for the movements. That's fairly easy. But I actually said Sir Sick, so he's got the knight,
he's great
in the armor thing.
Oh,
he has different poses for that he will switch to make different emphasis endpoints or whatever. And yeah, that's more work than just a static image. So
I saw a guy, I can't remember the name of it. He was like a red monster puppet, like almost like a Elmo, but kind of like gnarly.
I know who you mean, and he's mouthy and shit.
Yeah, and he fucking streams like Call of Duty and shit like that. And then he's like a veteran, he's like disabled and shit like that. So then he'll like flip it over from like the video game thing, and it's a literal fucking puppet. And I'm like, yo! And then he switches over to the like V puppet, and I'm like, you have figured this out, man. That was like in Mixer days. So that was like 5 years ago. He was already doing it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find that guy. Red.
Yeah, I've seen it. It can be quite amusing. Oh, Michael Bell has donated $2. Are all atheist channels secretive names? What?
What's that?
What does that mean, Michael?
No, we're not, because Paul Ends is a thing that exists. Paulogia.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I went by Apologia for a while, and then when Answers in Genesis put on a conference in his neck of the woods, he tried to go, and then it became like they actually denied him, and it ended
I
up
remember
making the
this.
news. And he says, like, I'm on the news, I have to use my name. So since then, he's just been like, yep, I'm Paul Enns. But yeah, no, the reason for that is it's something that gets brought up a lot, even if it's not explicitly tied to why people use fake names, is that there is a lot of discrimination in the world against atheists.
Oh yeah.
You're
So like, if people find out that if people find out you're an atheist and they call your employer, and you're not fortunate enough to have a big enough audience to do YouTube full time, then you can potentially be fired for making content. Like, they'll find a reason to, like, oh, your content was objectionable, like your social media presence, like something you did was objectionable. We're not firing you because you're an atheist, but yes, we are. And it is like people like me, where like my mother does not know what I do for a living, and it's not that I'm hiding it from her per se. This is more of a like she wouldn't cut me off if she found out what I do. She wouldn't stop talking to my kids. She wouldn't cut me out of her will, which, honestly, there's not going to be much there anyway. And I don't say that to be I don't say that to say anything bad. Like, she's always worked jobs that take in less money than she could with her qualifications, because she is like, I want to work a job that I care about rather than the one that pays more. So like,
right.
I'm not being like, oh yeah, my mother's poor, so I don't care if she cuts me out. It's like, no. She doesn't have a lot there because she has spent her life doing what matters to her, and that's like, I respect that.
I'm just gonna do that.
But at the same time, up until fairly recently, she's always kind of thought of me as the good kid. Is like, she and my brother don't talk. Well, she and my brother don't talk anymore. And I forget, like, I'm not sure what's going on there.
Did they leave too?
What do you mean? Did they leave? What?
Like, are they atheists as well, or?
Yeah, so none of my siblings are Christian anymore. So I was the last one out.
Oh, okay.
So, like, my sister, since she was a teenager, she was like the goth kid who had to rebel, and like she would be like, I'm not a Christian anymore because it's cool to not be a Christian. But then she never went back and still thinks this like she couldn't make herself believe if she wanted to at this point. I don't know. I'm not going to assume too much about what they think, but like, it's been known that she's not a churchgoer for years now. My brother was a bit more goody two shoes, but they had their falling out, and at the time I was still going to church, and so I was the last one left that was the good kid. And she knows I don't go to church anymore, but she doesn't know the details. And I think if she found out that, like, my career is explaining why her religion is dumb, is like, I'm not worried about her getting mad at me for it, but I'm like,
she'll take offense.
She would be, well, no, it's that, like,
she might pull this out on you. I got a beef with her.
No, it wouldn't even be that. It's just like, it's the, I don't want to hurt her. I know that it would be painful to her to find out what I do. So it's not that I'm afraid because she'll judge me. It's that I don't want to hurt her.
Yeah.
Right.
And bring her pillars down around her.
Yeah. And like, being a Christian, I don't know how much hellfire she believes in. Like, I don't know what level of that she holds to, but like, the idea, like, she's already struggling with, like, 2 out of 3 of my kids are going to hell, and the third one I'm not sure about. So I don't want to make her sure about that one. So so like, for me, it's like, my last name, like, I'm so paranoid about keeping stuff private online that even if you found out my last name, you wouldn't be able to find out shit about me. But like, then it might get to my mother, and I don't want to hurt her.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure she thinks I make porn, like I edit porn videos.
That's fine.
I'm like, okay, if that's what you think about my career, that's fine. I'm happy with that.
Triple X Rhino.
It's like I forget which movie it was from, but the guy's like in his room, like hiding something. It's like, what are you doing in there? He's like, drugs, like just whatever you will believe, but just not what I'm actually doing. Just I don't care if it's worse than what I'm actually doing. Just don't believe what I'm actually doing.
That's the thing. Like I've thought about that. I'm like, gut reaction. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to have that as a job. Now it's my job to watch porn at work. But then I'm like, no, then that
Ruin
gets
porn
into
for
these,
you.
like, you don't want to
Rhino
know how
hub.
the sausage is made. Rhino hub.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to edit out the burps and stuff, like you're gonna. So and so kept sneezing, like it was a whole thing. I had to edit out all the sneezing. It'd find a way to be annoying. Because work is.
Reggio says you expose yourself, but don't think it's porn.
I mean, I have had to censor myself on a number of occasions on my channel.
Have you?
Yes.
Why?
Well, there's the one video of me, like, are either of you guys on TikTok?
Yeah,
I'm on TikTok. Yeah, I follow you.
Remember a little while ago when there was that thing, the Billie Eilish thing, where like girls would roll across their bed in a big sweater, and they'd take the sweater off when they were doing it. You remember now?
That was fucking amazing.
Yes, but I was kind of hanging out a little bit in that outfit that I was in at the end, so I had to censor that. Then there was also I did. It's kind of a cliche for atheist YouTubers to, like, on April Fools, they'll put out a video being like, "Oh yeah, guys, I'm a Christian now."
I've seen the light.
Yeah.
Like, okay, everybody does that. I want to do something for April Fools, but that's been done to death. What do? So I did it on the toilet, but I didn't. It wasn't obvious that I was on the toilet until at the end when I stood up and you could see everything, and I was like, "Oh shit, stop!" And that was. So, like, if you actually watch through the whole thing, like at the first, it's like, oh yeah, no, Rhino's just doing the stupid atheist April Fool's thing. But like, if you get to the end, it's like that was the actual joke. So I had to censor that, and I don't think I had to censor this one, but you do see me in one of my partner's thongs at the end of one of my in the outtakes for one of my videos, where like she interrupts me while I'm doing my recording, asking for one of the books that's on the shelf behind me. So I'm like, okay. And I stand up and turn around and bend over and grab the things. Like, so yeah, no, I'm.
This is why we're friends.
Yeah. So that's.
Neil's been asking me to do that for years. I just won't do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it for you.
I just won't do it. I just won't.
I don't even own a thong, so I don't know how I don't know.
I got a wife. I got a house full of thongs.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's how I got mine.
They're everywhere.
I don't. So yeah, no. I suppose I could go buy one.
A wife?
I might have an old Speedo somewhere from the 80s that I could squeeze into.
You mean a knee pad? That's what them things look like to me.
Yeah, pretty much. Right? Yeah.
What is elbow pad that these people are wearing around their genitals?
I won't have to squeeze that much more because I have now, since starting my new spicy Rhino. Yeah.
Ooh,
since
spiced
starting
Rhino.
my new diet that I started a bunch of months back, I am now down 32 pounds from my previous weight.
Damn, son.
Nice.
Hey, you're gonna be looking good on the beach. Again. You're gonna be out there on the beach this year. So, hey,
dude, I'm whiter than the letters behind you on the green screen.
Well, we need you to reflect some of this sunlight back into the atmosphere. We are burning up, Neil. We need you to lay out there on the beach.
I'm Scottish, so I turn redder than this pixel right here.
Yeah.
That's, those of
I
you
can't even see.
It was a dead pixel on your monitor. No, it's not. It's
have
Neil's
a red.
Fault. It's Neil's fault.
It's me's fault because I think I deleted, on Photoshop, all that stuff. I clearly missed one, and now it's bothering me too. So I'm gonna have to fix it. God, I can't unsee it. It's so large.
I can't even see it, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
If you full screen,
I thought my monitor had a dead pixel when I joined the call.
Hang on.
If you full screen it, you'll see.
Hold on.
Get in there nice and deep, like. All right.
See, I'm old now, people. I'm old and
He's getting
crusty ball.
binoculars.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, I hear him.
It's right there. It's right there.
See it?
Oh shit! Yeah,
Just one red pixel.
That was,
Maybe two.
these make me look smart.
they're not trying to assassinate me or anything.
It's not a laser.
Target is in
I do
range.
have one.
Target is in range.
All right, so there you go. I need.
It's not a
reading
vape,
glasses.
it's a walkie-talkie. This whole time.
When you play a children's card game that has tiny writing on it for its effects and stuff like that, like they're like magic cards, but it's called Yu-Gi-Oh. And
I'm sorry. I love
What?
that. It's like magic cards, but they're called Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah. Well, because I used to play Magic too, right?
I know nothing about either, but I love that description.
Well, I'll kind of
Pretty apt. I think the cartoon for Yu-Gi-Oh is much better than Magic the Gathering.
Right, and if you look at the print there, it's fucking tiny. So I'm like,
Oh, it's fine.
trying to play this game, going, let me see what this says here. Okay, this has the, so it's like, and the kids that play the game are like, oh, come on, old man, let's fucking finish this fucking game already.
Neil's got a magnifying glass, like that's like on like a little setup. He just slides the card under there like an overhead projector. Let's see what this says.
I'm a sexy
not that one.
librarian.
Oh yeah.
I got you fooled. I can't even read. All right, so then why have reading glasses? I know.
Sabrina, what else is new? I am seldom right. We just need to congratulate me on the right things. I'm baseline wrong, and then every once in a while I peak in a correct answer.
Okay, I just realized that we've gone past the hour.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit, man! That went
Pulling
by
out your
so
spectacles.
fast. Yeah, well, spectacles, testicles,
I
wallet.
usually stream. So my streams with Cirrus are ostensibly they go from 8:30 till 10. We've had to change the official end time to 11 because that's usually when we end up going to, and sometimes it goes later.
But we gotta go. We gotta go to the after show. Everybody's waiting to meet you.
Yeah, are you cool with coming and hanging out for a little bit longer?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna take a little bit of a break so you can refresh like your drink and grab a snack if you want to, or a bio.
Do you want me
break
to?
if
Do you want me to ban Sabrina in the chat?
Is infinitely superior to Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, I guess if it is for you, that's great. That's great.
Infinitely, she says.
I like them both, but when they banned my old deck, and from way back in the day, I played a mill deck, and they banned that, which is why I like Lightsworn in Yu-Gi-Oh, because it does the same thing. It mills. But
how you gonna ban a deck? I already bought the cards. Fuck that game. Dude, you can't ban shit after I purchased it.
Some of the cards are OP, so they make them. They ban certain decks because.
Then don't make the fucking card. I already paid for it. No, the card is staying on.
We don't buy that deck's cards now, dummy. You buy the cards that you can play. Anyway, it's all preference, and I like both. I haven't played MTG for quite a while, probably since the late '90s. But anyway,
who doesn't?
I kind of got out of it.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just substitute.
Yeah, we are gonna do the after party, guys. If you want to come and say hi to Justin here, aka Mr. Vice Rhino himself, you are welcome to do so and jump in and say hi and whatnot. We'll probably go for at least another hour, but I got an early day tomorrow. I have to go and deal with something before I go and see my mom for our every Sunday brunch. So we'll see how things are going. But thank you to everyone for hanging out with us. Also, thanks to our amazing
patrons.
That's the word I was looking for. Fuck, I'm old. Patrons and members. And
big shout out to Regios.
Big shout out to the man who drops all of the membership stuff there. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. We really appreciate it.
You don't have a single member except for one that was given by Regios.
We got quite a few now, actually. I think we're going to start making a list.
Entire channel, man. You can't ever die.
Yeah, Regios. We don't know what to do without you.
I will have as much fun as I possibly can. I usually do. Yes, I am your age. Well, 57. I'm going to be 58 in what day is it today? It is
a couple weeks.
Date-wise.
I have to, every time I see Michael Bell in the chat, I misread it as Michael Ball, and I'm a bit of a theater nerd, and Michael Ball is fucking amazing. So I'm just like, oh, Michael Ball. Oh, it's Michael Bell.
Michael Bell, not known for his theater exploits.
Michael Bell is amazing.
He did not play Marius in the 10th anniversary concert of Les Miserables.
He didn't. And I'm sick of him trying to run around like he did.
I just want to point
lying,
something out.
Michael Bell.
The hillbilly actually did it right. Yu-Gi-Oh. How do you like that?
See, he knows.
I challenge you to a duel.
Now I have, the way you said that, I now have Hook in my head. Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, jeez.
I want to be Rufio for Halloween.
Yeah.
Rufio? Yeah, totally
Absolutely.
do that. That was awesome.
Looky, I got hooky.
Never
Coolest
great
line ever. Looky, I got hooky.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. Thanking everybody. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
The link to the after party is in the description box below. Also, I've got all of Rhino's links. If you want to stalk him around the internet, feel free to do so.
Do you have all of them if you didn't know about the watering hole until tonight?
I didn't know about the watering hole until tonight, and Mikey fix that. He will throw that in the links below.
Okay.
I didn't know. No, we will, because it's important that we support each other. So
Yeah, I didn't know. I would have watched longer, but I didn't know you had that channel.
You didn't even tell me at BajaCon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm bad at self-promotion. What can I say?
Yeah.
But there is now a link dropped by Regios in the chat as well. So we'll copy paste that sucker and stick it into the description box below in case you stumble upon this afterwards. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks for everything. Did I forget anything?
Nope. Pull the lever, Kronk.
That's about it. So until then, guys. Until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of the interview part of the show, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.